everybody, and welcome to your new least favorite podcast. That's right, it's Simian Jimmy's Treehouse Podcast. I think that should be the objective. The goal here is to lower the expectations to such an incredulously low amount that even just posting this at all is enough to warm the hearts of the Measly Few. I think that's every YouTuber's dream, is to get to the point where just an upload is enough to satiate these foul creatures in their audience. I mean, look at what, your iDubbbz's and your grade A's and your Monkey Joneses. These fools, back in their heyday, posting daily, weekly, minutely content. And now it's like, oh man, iDubbbz posted a video. First time all year, thank God. But yeah, this is the Simian Jimmy Treehouse Podcast. Hopefully this is not an annual podcast. Hopefully this is a weekly show. But you may be wondering, what the fuck? I did not subscribe to the Simian Jimmy Treehouse Podcast. I was very specifically subscribed to Mumkey and Biggs. I don't even like Mumkey. I don't like Simian Jimmy for sure. I would not subscribe to him. I was only here for Biggs. Where's Biggs? Give me more Biggs. This is too small. I've heard that one a few times. Man, how am I going to sit here and talk to myself for an hour? I can't think of anything more pathetic and embarrassing than to sit alone in a room, speaking out loud to yourself and making yourself laugh. Is there anything more embarrassing? I guess let me know in the comments. We need to get our numbers up, folks. Get me in the algorithm, post those comments. No. Anyway, where's Biggs? That's the Biggs question of the day. And people are worried. They're saying, what? Did Biggs finally? He lost his leg to the diabetes? Finally? No. I know a lot of you out there are familiar with Biggs's perhaps real first name, much like a previous overweight Hispanic co-host of mine. Biggs's first name is Brandon, and the reason why he does not want to be on the show anymore is because so many people keep saying "Let's go, Brandon" to him, and it's just getting out of hand. He can't handle it. He said, "You know what? If this is my life now, I'm toast. I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. No more podcasting for me. Let's go, Brandon," but literally, let's go off the internet. And that's what he did. He's gone now. No, that was a lie. But if you do, if you have a Twitter and you want to go tweet "Let's go, Brandon" to Biggs, I don't know if he would appreciate it. I don't know how familiar he is with the joke, but I tweeted it at him and I thought it was pretty funny. If you don't know what "Let's go, Brandon" is, I guess go ask Reactor. He probably started that shit. But on a serious note, Biggs's mom recently got pretty sick in the hospital. Actually, there's a GoFundMe. I'll just read what the GoFundMe says. Okay, on Biggs's GoFundMe page, which, as of now, has raised $1,601 of the $3,000 goal. So if you guys would like to get us to that goal, I'll have a link in the description. But here's what's going on. From the words of Biggs himself, on September 22, my mother Nita was rushed to the ER. She was complaining of dizziness, nausea, and had slurred speech. After a few hours later, her sister was called by the brain surgeon and told that she had suffered from a massive hemorrhage at the base of her brainstem. A big blood clot had formed there, and with her high blood pressure, it burst. We were told she wouldn't survive the night. They rushed her into the surgery to do what they could to save her. By some miracle, she was able to pull through and has survived the brain surgery. Now, I think that might be some news to people. In the Simian Jimmy patron Discord, which you can join through my Patreon link in the description. We've been talking about this since it began. Biggs's mom is sick and she might not make it. But the good news is, the brain surgery worked out and she's actually recovering fairly well, according to Biggs. She's been, up and talking, and COVID's not the best time to go to the hospital. It's very inconvenient timing to have a brain hemorrhage, to be honest. I probably would have just stayed home and died personally, but Biggs' mom is a fighter, and she fought through, she survived, and Biggs was able to go visit her in the hospital. Like with COVID shit, they don't really like letting people in to see their dying relatives anymore. So hashtag nurses are heroes, I guess. But let's keep reading this. Just to be clear, people were wondering, oh, is Biggs' mom okay? Is she gonna make it? Yeah, she's gonna make it. I'm reading what Biggs wrote. It's been a rough road of recovery so far. She was put on a ventilator and had drains in her brain for about a week. Thankfully, things seem to be getting better as she's been taken off the ventilator and the drains have been removed. She's awake and able to move around, but now she has come into some cognitive issues. She's suffering from some delirium. Hey, lucky her. She's getting very confused and doesn't understand where she is. Again, if I could trade places with Biggs' mom, I certainly would. And is mistaking hospital staff for family members. Now, this was written weeks ago. I think she has passed most of these issues, to be honest. But anyway, the point is medical bills are not cheap, and he's trying to raise $3,000 for his family so that they can pay off these bills. So that's why we were not around very much in the second half of September and October, because Biggs had much more important things than stupid fucking shows, And I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't care that your mom's dying in the hospital. We have to record ourselves watching young Sheldon right now, So, but the good news is she's gonna be okay, hopefully, it looks like. And if you want to help him pay that bill, go ahead. But that does not explain why we're doing the Simian Jimmy Treehouse show. Where the fuck is Biggs? Is he not ever coming back? Well, he'll be back. Once. One more time. After going through all this and making some major life changes, Biggs has decided, the internet personality lifestyle it's not really congruent with the life he wants to live. And it has nothing to do with our friendship, in case you were like, oh no, my lovers are fighting. My favorite lovers are breaking up. Not quite. Me and Biggs are still seeing each other just as often. He's got a new job, so he's been very busy with that. It does take him out of state a lot, but every so often, I think like 2 or 3 times a month, he does manage to make his way up here to, hang out and shoot the shit and have fun. And now that we haven't been, having to record shows, we can actually enjoy the very few hours that we get to spend with each other, And as gay as that sounds, instead of, hey, Biggs, we only get to see each other for a few hours a week. You want to spend that time recording a shitty show in a very hot room with the AC off, and then going into the other room to blend up some cow diarrhea with flaming hot Cheetos and drink it on camera. Instead of doing that kind of stuff, we can just go to the movies and go bowling, go out to eat. So, when you have a limited time to spend with your friends, sometimes it's better to do fun stuff than work stuff, especially when the show doesn't really make money. It's like, well, I don't know really what his incentive would be if it's not even fun to begin with. But the moral of the story is, I think Biggs is doing great. I met his new girlfriend the other day. She's very nice. He's been going to church every week, and he's got a good support system there. He's been losing a lot of weight lately. He's got a high-paying, great new job. I know he was struggling throughout all of COVID with unemployment, and he was very stressed about that. So, do not feel any pity for this man. I mean, other than the mother shit, but like, in terms of Biggs' life, as far as I can tell, somebody who has been his best friend for over a decade, Biggs is doing better than I've ever seen before. In terms of social life, work life, losing weight, all that jazz. And you know what? More power to him. If he's trying to live that trad life with the trad wife, maybe doing the Monkey and Big show it's not a piece that fits into that trad life puzzle, if you catch my drift. So Biggs did promise he would do one final show for the fans, the finale to the Monkey and Big Show podcast. I think it will end up being 35 episodes, a nice round number, great series. Probably well over 40 hours of content in there. But he's ready to move on, and that's fine. So I guess if you want to leave a voicemail for Biggs' final episode, we did the funeral of Monkey and Biggs, but now this will be the retirement party of Biggs. If you would like to submit your Biggs retirement farewell voicemail, you should know how to do it. So send that in, and if you don't know how, go find the video on this channel called How to Submit a Voicemail to Our Show. Oh God, man, it's so much easier to do a show with other people. It's so annoying when I have to talk to myself and I'm just speaking out loud nonstop for an hour straight, because you can't even stop to ignore what the other person is saying so that you can think of what you're going to say next. So anything I say is going to be just a haphazard, a miracle of a sentence. Who knows what could come out of my mouth? I certainly don't. I'm saying the words faster than I can think them. So you're going to get a true treehouse experience on this show. I hope you guys enjoy it. I guess we should talk about what this show will be. Now that I'm doing a solo show, that's right, and rebranding the channel, I think we're going to change the Monkey and Biggs channel to Simian Jimmy's Treehouse, and this is the Simian Jimmy Treehouse Podcast. What will this show consist of from week to week? Well, I do want to have guests on, and that's a word I can't say because I'm kind of retarded, but again, guests, that's a fucking retarded word to say. STS, who puts that sequence of letters in order and says, oh yeah, anybody can say this? Fucking whoever invented these words are complete assholes. But I was going to have Eggman Rodriguez here as guest number 1 on the inaugural episode, because he was going to be here at my house, but then his trip got delayed, so he's not going to be here for a few days, and I've put this off for way too long as it is, so I'm just doing it solo today. But I'll have guests on. I'm going to try to just invite on people who I genuinely want to talk to one-on-one, people who I consider friends, or other YouTubers and other podcasters whose content I actually watch. You might notice sometimes on the Trash Rats podcast that I do with Reactor and Rusty Cage, which we're slowing down a little bit, it seems. They don't seem to be as into doing the show as I am, so I really have to every week say, hey guys, how about we film the episode? Oh, I don't know. Hey guys, how about we film the episode? Oh, I don't know. So, but my point is, you might notice that on that show, we'll have some guest stars on, and I will not really engage a whole shit ton with them, because most of the time I do not know who they are, and it's kind of hard to... It's embarrassing to invite on a guest to a podcast and then not know who they are. It's like, well, why did you invite me? You don't even know who the fuck I am. But those are people that Rusty invited. Like when he invites his IRL friend who we met at a bar... It's like, what am I supposed to... I don't know who this is. And then they just talk about crypto for an hour. Like, oh, great. I'm glad I'm here. I guess I'll get paid my $15 for this episode by playing the One Piece Game Boy Advance game on my phone emulator. Listen back to that episode. See if you can hear me clicking away on my... on my phone playing One Piece. That game sucks, by the way. Do not play the One Piece game for GBA. I mean, I guess it's not bad, but it's definitely not good. Anyway, this show, other than having a guest on to, chill out, max out, relax, all cool and all, I also want to talk about just the things I'm working on, future projects, basically anything that has to do with my work life, and also, fun stories from my real life. Like, for example, Patchy's wedding and bachelor party. We've been talking about that for, it feels like, over 3 years now on the Monkey and Big show, and that finally happened back in, September? I don't even... How long is it? It's already November? What the hell? And also the other segment on the show I want to do is answering Patreon questions, and I actually made the patron text server, or thing in my server, or I guess Robel made it for me the other day, and those fuckers filled it up with questions lickety-split, so I've got probably over 50 questions I need to answer at some point. And if you would like to join in on the fun and submit questions that I'll answer in this show, you can go to patreon.com/mumkey, join the server, hang out with the group. There's people hanging out in that fucking Discord server nonstop. And they're always in the voice chat, and I'm like, who the fuck? How are these people all friends with each other? The only thing they have in common is that they watch my shitty videos. Well, what else is there to say? Just talking about how pathetic and miserable their lives are, I guess. If that's something that appeals to you, go join in on the fun and ask me a question. But anyway, Patchy's wedding came and went. If you don't know, my little brother, Patchy, he just got married to his middle school sweetheart. I think they started dating in high school, but I say middle school because that's when they fucking met, and it's more romantic. And yes, I did plan the bachelor party. It went off without a hitch. I came up with a best man speech 5 minutes before I had to give it, and people... It was very suspicious, because all through the night, after the dinner and after the speeches, people who I didn't know, and people even who I did know, they kept coming up to me and telling me, oh, you did a good job on your speech. That was a good speech. And I'm like, okay, it would make sense if like one or two people said that to be nice. But the fact that it's happening multiple times has me convinced that maybe they were told... Perhaps that I was not feeling up to it, and they're like, oh, that speech did kind of suck, but we gotta make this kid feel good. We better tell him it was good. And it's like, well, it doesn't really work when you have 20 different people saying the same fucking scripted phrase to me. But yeah, hopefully it was an okay speech. But the bachelor party, unfortunately, Biggs, he was right in the thick of his mom being sick for the bachelor party, so he could not make it. But Aggie actually did come down, and you're probably thinking, what the fuck? You invited one of your own friends from the internet to your brother's bachelor party? Well, my brother was the one who filmed Wheel of Cursed Meals 4, so that kind of bonding experience between men, you know, one man films another man eat flaming hot Choco Mac, one man films another man eat 4 ounces of Play-Doh. You know, these are things that stick with you. They form a deep bond that only men can understand. Hashtag films women will never understand. Hashtag hashtag eat the Play-Doh. So we had a good time. We got a bunch of my brother's friends from high school came up, and we went to a few barcades, and I, you know, as the party planner, had to be the DD, so a designated driver. So I drove those kids. And I say kids even though everybody's about as old as me. Drove those kids around to all these barcades. We had a good time, having a ball. Don't Stop Me Now, all that jazz. Aggie only made one of my brother's friends extremely squeamish and sick with some of his entertaining qualities. So it was a good night. We had some fun. And then the wedding, you know, first wedding I've ever been involved in, basically the first wedding I've been to in general, and it was a lot less shitty than I was expecting. I did not really enjoy having to stand up in front of everybody. Like, I have to stand right next to my brother and hand him the rings and shit and be part of the ceremony and got all these people staring. Not really for me. I know I did theater and stuff a lot in high school, but even back then, it was pretty painful. Not really for me. I like doing internet stuff better because I don't have all your disgusting eyes on me in the same room at the same time. We interrupt this amazing podcast for a word from our sponsor. Now you might be wondering, Simian Jimmy, who in the living fuck would sponsor the inaugural episode of your shitty, edgy, inappropriate, terrible, underviewed podcast that will most likely receive an upwards of 800 views total. Why would somebody waste their hard-earned money sponsoring that? Which dipshit company was it? Was it McDonald's? Starbucks? Cats Are Us? I say that because Isabel's on the floor, laying on her back, licking herself right now, and I'd rather be looking at that than reading this ad. No, I love reading ads. And to answer your question, one of my patrons, Random Candor, wanted to sponsor the first episode, and I was thinking it would be fun for this show specifically to let any of the listeners sponsor an episode and have me read off anything they want in the episode to eternally be part of the show's history. So if you're interested in sponsoring an episode and you want to get, your product advertised or your Twitter or your YouTube channel, any stupid shit, just send me a message on Twitter or Discord or email me and we'll figure that shit out. But today's sponsor, big shout out to our handsome chocolate Chadlet King, Random Candor, for sponsoring this inaugural podcast. Follow him at Random Candor on Twitter and check out his videos in the description link. Random Candor, thank you for sponsoring this episode, and let's get back to the show. Oh, speaking of Aggie, you might be wondering, well, what? Is this channel now just going to be Simian Jimmy 2? Well, you're just going to post this podcast on this channel? What will become of the shell of the former Mumkey and Biggs Show channel? Well, Aggie and I have been talking about a variety of different shows we could do, some of which might go on this channel, some might go on the main channel. Really, it's up in the air, but I guess another thing we could do on this show is I'll talk about potential projects and just things I'm thinking about doing or I would be interested in doing, and I can really gauge the audience's perspective and see if you guys would actually want to watch anything like what I'm about to mention. So you might be familiar with Snack Testers and you might be familiar with Wheel of Cursed Meals. It would appear as though both of those shows are now dead since Biggs has retired from YouTubing. But Aggie was on the most recent episodes of both of those series, and he did, more than an excellent job. He outshined the both of us tenfold. So I'm thinking maybe Aggie and I can continue doing similar shows. And my main thought was, the Wheel of Cursed Meals is fun, but with the nature of the show, we basically get to release one 40-minute episode every 6 or 7 months because it's a big hassle. You got to make this whole wheel and get 16 different funky items and fly everybody in and all that fucking shit. So I thought, what if we did a smaller scale version of the same thing? What if it was just a show called Cursed Meals instead of Wheel of Cursed Meals? Don't really have to use the wheel. And we combine it with Snack Testers, so it's a fun hybrid of the two. You get me and Aggie. Instead of competing with each other, we are enjoying each other's company as two sexual men, two men who are growing out their hair and facial hair to look as homeless as possible. Just two, rugged, sexy Chad Sigma men sitting on the couch eating snacks. But instead of doing the Snack Testers stuff where it's just eating normal food, what if we just did the Wheel of Cursed Meals foods instead, And I think that'd be a fun idea. Instead of making it a competition, why not just, we both are going to sit here and eat the same disgusting thing, and instead of being mean-spirited and trying to make each other lose, it can be a bonding experience again between men, between sexually active, horny men together. So if we wanted to do the Death Nut Challenge, that could be its own episode. I'm thinking each episode could be 8 to 10 minutes. Release them weekly. Aggie lives about 3 hours from where I live, so we could drive down, and we could spend a week filming a 10-episode season of this shit, and then release the episodes weekly or, bi-weekly. 8 to 10 minute episodes, like I said. And I think that might be better than just posting one big giant video twice a year, because you guys will get more content. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Would you watch something like that? And would you want that to be on the main channel or this channel? If it's like edited stuff, I think anything that is polished and edited, it should probably go on the main channel, especially since that's where the Cursed Meals franchise lives to begin with. But if we ever decide to do more snack testers style stuff, like doing a food tier list, for example, something that's not disgusting or painful like a cursed meal would be, just normie food like, oh, we're gonna try all these gas station wines, that kind of stuff, that would probably belong more on this channel. And I would just, instead of trying to keep those 8 to 12 minutes like a main channel video, I would just, the last 2 snack testers were half an hour long each. So I guess it could be the best of both worlds. You could get all these different formats, all these different shows. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. Me and Eggy have talked about this a lot, and he's more than on board. We've been brainstorming all the different things we could eat. We've been having a lot of fun planning it out. So I think it'll be good. And really, Biggs is a great co-host. He's very funny. His wholesomeness contrasts with my edginess perfectly. But he just never really had like the hardcore drive or the motivation to want to make a whole bunch of content. And Eggy, he streams 14 hours a day sometimes. So I think with Eggy as a co-host, we could probably crank out content a lot more often. I hope you guys like Eggy. I really do, because Eggy and I just met in person for the first time in my life this last July when we went to Rusty Cage's 4th of July party. That's where I also met the Kino Corner for the first time. So that was a very fateful finding, you might say. That fateful 4th of July party. But again, speaking of men bonding, we all left Rusty's party to go see Boss Baby 2 in theaters, and that was a bonding experience, So what I'm trying to say is, me and Eggy just met 4 months ago, but I feel like we've been friends my entire life. We just, we get along, we have fun, and I would love to make more videos with him. I think he's very talented and very funny, and I hope most of my audience agrees, because otherwise, nobody's gonna be happy. God, this probably is very difficult to listen to. I haven't podcasted solo or streamed solo in so long that it's almost like you gotta, relearn how to ride a bike. You know what they say, if you don't ride a bike for over a year, you'll forget how. You better screw those training wheels back on, because you're gonna be falling into bushes and scraping up your knee. You better retrain your bicycle skills. And that's how podcasting is too. You forget how to do it. You gotta sit here and mumblecore, talk to yourself, don't make any sense, say random phrases that don't even fit, but they popped into your brain, that kind of stuff. Another show that me and Eggy were thinking about doing, or at least I was thinking about and telling him that we should do it, is a show that we teased probably over a year ago that me and Biggs were gonna do, and we did film an episode. But the footage and the audio got all fucked up because of my ceiling fan. But the show is TV Testers, and the idea would be we would each episode randomly select a TV show submitted to us by the audience, and then we have to watch and review the worst rated episode of that show. I think it would be a lot of fun, and maybe we could switch up the format a bit, like maybe 2 shows. Each episode we do the worst episode of 2 different shows, and then we could say which one was better, and it could be like, ooh, I bumped my knee. It could be like, fun, like, oh, which one of these shitty dog shit TV shows is better? If you guys have any ideas, again, I always want to hear your ideas in the comments section on anything I ever say. Don't hold back. Let me know how shitty and boring everything I say sounds. But TV Testers very well could also get a full season filmed in bulk alongside the Cursed Meals show. And I think that's a very smart way of making content, is to just block out, 3 or 4 days, maybe a full week, and film a shit ton, like 20 videos worth of stuff in one week. And then you can, take your time editing it and polishing it up and set it to release weekly. I think that's an excellent way of doing YouTube business, and I'm surprised I have not really attempted that ever since we did the Mumkashi short series. We did like 5 episodes of Mumkashi, and we filmed them all, other than the first episode, like in the same day. Oh, and one other thing to look forward to on this channel is I think the Depression Chamber live stream show will be returning fairly soon. I'm trying to figure out which day of the week I want to just lock in and say, you know what? Every single Sunday, tune in at night. I don't want to set a specific time because I know I'll fuck that up. Just giving me a day is one thing, but if I have to do a day and time, it's never going to happen. But every Sunday evening/night, look out for the Depression Chamber. Yeah, that should be the plan. Maybe I'll start that this Sunday. Everybody should bully me on my Discord and on Twitter. Say, hey, don't forget to do the Depression Chamber tonight, you fucko. It's Sunday. Time to head home from church and choose some depressing stories to read from incels in your audience. Some of these stories were submitted over 2 years ago and very well could have been written by people who have now died of either suicide or COVID. I think I was combining COVID and suicide in my head. I guess if you intentionally inflict yourself with COVID, it would be a suicide or sovidcide. If you're gonna commit sovidcide, do not do it until you send me your life story to thedepressionchamber@gmail.com. But yeah, I want to do the Depression Chamber again. It's one of my favorites. I love reading people's horrible, miserable experiences and then give them my armchair psychologist advice. Pieces of advice that are useless, and if they actually followed through, they would probably just make their situation much worse. But it's the best I can do. Really, if you've looked at me and my life and my choices, you probably should not take any advice I have to give. I don't know if I'm the best at making choices. Oh, here's an example. Here's an example of poor choices made by the monkey man. Maybe I should write a Depression Chamber story about this. I actually Eggy was in town last week because I was going to buy a new bed, and I said, you know what, Eggy? I've been hearing these rumors that you do not have a proper bed for a man, and next time I come over to hang out at your house, we should have a bed big enough for 2. Not that I'm gonna do anything with Eggy in the bed. Not that we're sexy, Chad, Sigma male, horny men. But I was like, hey, you know what, Eggy, I want to buy a new bed. I've got a queen size right now. I want to upgrade to king size. So how about you come down and I'll just give you my old bed for free so you can finally have a properly sized bed for a man of your girth. And I mean that as a pun. So he came down and I bought the new king size bed. And at the mattress store, or whatever you want to call that bullshit, and I went to a local place, did not go to one of those fuckers selling those Chinese, Russian nesting doll, bed bug bullshit mattresses. I got an Iowa brand, Iowa factory made mattress, American made, patriotic bed, patriotic sex, patriotic dreams, folks. I bought the whole shebang, but then they always want to do the add-ons, and he says, well, would you want to buy this protective pad that goes over the entire mattress to protect it from spills and stains? I mean, it's only $105, and I'm like, ugh, this shit is already expensive. I don't want to buy more shit. I'm not going to be drinking my red wine in bed. I'm not going to spill all over my mattress and stain it. Fuck no, I don't want that shit. So Monday morning, the mattress comes in. They the people from the factory or whoever works at this company, I don't know. They come in and they set up the whole thing. It was very convenient, very cool to have people just building everything, because all the stuff under a bed with all the fucking metal poles you gotta stick together. Annoying. Nobody wants to do that. These people, they just do that all day. That's their job. And they come in, set it up. That's like at 2 p.m., so I don't even get a chance to sleep in the bed yet. I have not broken this bed's virginity yet. Have not slept a day in it. And a few hours after the delivery, my cat Isabel, if you don't know, 2 years ago, I adopted this 8-year-old cat. And now she's like 10 and a half, getting a little up there in cat age. Perhaps she has a little less bladder control than, I don't know. I mean, people listening to the Monkey and Big Show remember she used to like to poop on my bed, and sometimes I find like a little piece of poop on the rug. I don't know if she's doing that maliciously or just because she's stupid and old, but she's definitely a very nice cat who never does anything really mean. She just begs for food all the time, really, and sits next to me and purrs. So I don't think she's doing these things because she hates me. But my brand new king-size bed, first king-size I've ever owned. Finally feel like a real man. Can't wait to get a good night's rest after basically a full month of insomnia and only getting 3 hours of sleep a day for the last fucking forever, and it's been horrible. Like, genuinely horrible. Falling asleep at 9 a.m. when you tried to go to bed at 2. Not good. But, don't even get a chance to sleep in it. I've owned it for a few hours, and poor Isabel the cat decides to take a big old piss on the bed. And I immediately remembered that guy offering the mattress pad protector, and I was just so upset. That's why you should not take my advice. I should have bought that. I should have protected my very expensive new property from my destructive, cruel animals who I do nothing but love and feed and protect. They just want to punish me and destroy my valuables, which I guess is just the story of every cat, to be honest. That's nothing unique. But I did get the pee cleaned up. There's no stain, thank God. I had like 2 blankets and a sheet, so even though it bled through a little bit, there's no stain, no smell. But earlier today, I did immediately drive to the store as soon as I woke up, and I bought that stupid $100 pad, so... yeah. Stupid. I ended up spending the money anyway, and all I got out of it was stress and pee. So, fuck that shit. Don't take my advice, folks, but do tune in to the Depression Chamber coming soon. I guess now I should probably answer those Patreon questions, so I'll pull those up and just scroll through and see what looks interesting. I'll try not to skip a whole bunch of questions like we do on Trash Rats, but it's really going to depend on the quality of the question when you have over 50 of them to answer. So let's just start off with, Busy Corgi wants to know, when are we going to have a Patreon-only Fortnite stream? You guys can do it whenever you want. I'm not going to be there. If the patrons want to stream it with each other, go for it. Not for me. Username wants to know, should the FBI investigate further into you? They certainly could. I don't know if it would be worth their time, but if I'm an FBI agent and I'm getting paid, a government salary, I'm getting like, what do those fuckers make? Are they making minimum wage over in the FBI? I'm guessing they make like a shit ton of money for doing nothing. Because when's the last time the FBI stopped a school shooter? When's the last time the FBI stopped Nicholas Cruz? I'm gonna say never. Those fuckers don't do anything. So if I was in the FBI and they said, hey, we want to pay you $150 an hour to go investigate this YouTuber, I would probably do it. To be honest, I would love to have the job of investigating Simian Jimmy, so if the FBI would like to hire me to investigate myself and pay me that FBI agent salary, I'm all for it. But otherwise, I think it would just be a big waste of taxpayer money and resources. It would be good for the agent, though. They'd probably get to watch some pretty boring podcasts like this one. Confish Bracken, why do you open this channel the day after I stop my Patreon subscription? I don't know why you would say that in the Patreon Discord server. Now I have to ban you! No, I don't. You only have to pay one time to get in, folks. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to pay a $5 monthly subscription for a Patreon server. You just have to pay the one time and then you're in forever unless you post something that gets you banned. So if you want to get in, you only have to do it the one time, like Confish Bracken now knows. Truman Sinclair, good name, wants to know, who is your favorite character in the Triflers and what was the hardest part of writing it? Now, if you don't know, The Triflers is a book that I wrote back in 2015 and started selling on my YouTube channel in like 2016. And the truth be told, folks, I have not read my own book since it was published. I'm very familiar with most of it. I mean, I remember very distinctly the vast majority of it, but I have not actually cracked it open and read it, like cover to cover, in over 5 years. And I was thinking, I'm always thinking of things I can post on YouTube, and then I just get overwhelmed with, well, that's not going to be very good, is it? You know, if I'm going to post something on my main channel to my 100,000 subscribers, it better be the highest quality content possible. But that mindset only leads to not posting anything. So that's another reason why I like doing this show, because I can pitch these ideas to you and you guys can tell me if I should waste my time making them. Because then at least now I know some percentage of my measly few audience will tune into it. But in terms of my book, The Triflers, I was thinking of doing a mini-series of reading and reacting to and reviewing it. Is that something people do? Do people do long-form weekly series reviewing their own work? I mean, I guess I've been doing that with my old videos for a long time, so it wouldn't really be anything different to do it with a novel. But the idea would be, each week, I release 3 chapters of the book as an audiobook for free. So people have been begging me for half a decade to do an audiobook of this fucking book. I would be doing that. And also accompanying it would be my reaction and review. So maybe it would be like 2 separate videos. Like at the same time, release the 3-chapter audiobook and then release the 3-chapter review. And just give my honest critique of my own writing from when I was 19 and 20. If you would tune into something like that, let me know, because that kind of project, I mean, sitting there reading an entire book out loud and then having to edit out all the fuck-ups, that's going to take me over 100 hours of work. And if literally nobody on earth wants to listen to me talk about my own book, then that'd be a big fat waste of time. So let me know if you'd actually watch that. And maybe if the reception seems super positive, that could also be a main channel show. But otherwise, I'd probably just post it here. And that's the fun thing about having a second channel, is that you really can just throw literal human shit at the wall. And it doesn't matter because it's the second channel. I've posted worse, and people definitely clicked on it. What's the next question? Sander wants to know, what's your podcast called? It's the Simian Jimmy Podcast? No. Even I already got it wrong. Never mind. Let's see. Jingles wants to know, advice for writing believable characters. See, that would imply that the characters I've written are believable, and I'm not sure if they are. I guess that'd be another good reason. I didn't even answer the Triflers question. I'm sorry. I'll go back. I guess I'll talk about both. Who's my favorite character and what was the hardest part? I'm sorry, Truman. Truman Sinclair, by the way, I believe is the full name of a main character in the book. I know his name's Truman. I'm pretty sure the last name was Sinclair. Little spotty in my memory. My favorite character? I mean, it's got to be Don. Don is main character, favorite character. That's the character I was the most interested in writing. The hardest part of writing it, really, you're not going to like the answer, but it really was not hard. Because that is just a book that came from my soul. I did not have to do a lot of research or extremely deep thinking. It was just, these were characters I already knew. They were all based off of my friends and other people I've met in my life. And the story just, on my best advice would be, if you have a commute, which I did as I was writing the book, I would just spend my commute thinking about the story and the characters and what would make sense and what would be cool and what would, I should add this detail in here. And I guess that's hard for some people to just okay, I'm going to block out 1 hour of my day and I'm going to be creative. And that's hard to do. You can't just plan out your creativity. Sometimes it has to be spontaneous. And for me, my half an hour drive to and from college back in that time, I didn't have a whole lot to do other than listen to music and podcasts in the car for an hour every day. So most of that time listening to music, I would just be daydreaming about writing the book and thinking about it, and probably minutes away from causing a fatal car crash because I was not focusing on the road. I was focusing on my book. So I guess that's my advice. If you have a commute and you have to drive an hour every day, just think about what you're writing while you do that. It's shitty advice and not helpful at all, but I mean, that's what worked for me. I don't know what else to say. What was the other question? The other question was writing believable characters. It does help very much to base characters off of people you've met before, because those are believable characters in that they are literal human beings who exist. So if somebody says this character doesn't seem very believable, and it's word for word just a human being you've met before, that's when you know the concept of believability in storytelling is extremely subjective, and you should not really worry about it too much. Something that I consider to be a believable character because I recognize the character from, oh, this character is such an asshole, but, I guess I had a teacher in high school who kind of acted like that. Yeah, I can buy this. So somebody who I think is believable, somebody else might think is completely fucking retarded. Like you watch the movie Whiplash and you see Fletcher, the college professor, throwing chairs at his band students. Some people might think that's not a believable character, and other people have met that guy in real life. So do not worry about the believability too much, because it's so subjective. Just write what is real to you. Write, if you think it's a believable character because it's somebody you know in real life or somebody you've seen or like a celebrity or somebody you've been watching a long time, if you're basing your characters off of those people, then you know it's believable because you, as the author, know it's a real person. So that'd be my advice. Don't worry about it too much. As long as you know it's real, stick to that. Nico Taito wants to know, what's the best bussy on the planet? I mean, I'm so experienced with the wide variety of prime, or I guess brime bussy. I guess Rusty Cage. He's the best bussy by far. My cock, oh man, is bussy, man. It sure did squeeze up my fat monkey cock. Oh man, what a tight hole that Rusty Cage has. Baron Von Brunk says, bring back Frid and call it Monkey versus Chunky. I mean, that's what Monkey and Big Show basically was. Chuck Wad wants to know if I'm going to have sex. Just in general, he says sex now. I assume he's propositioning himself, in which case the answer is yes. The boss CDA wants to know, if you had to relive your college years, what would you do differently? Well, the thing about college for most people is that they end up in incredible life and soul crushing amounts of debt that it's basically like taking out a mortgage on a house that you don't get to live in, and you're doing that when you're fucking 17 or 18 and you don't know any better, and you end up in debt for the rest of your life, and hopefully you got a degree in something that's going to get you a super high paying job. But unfortunately, the reality is, due to inflation and cruelty and just complete fucking sociopaths who, I guess, run the college industry, the price of college is increasing by thousands of dollars every single year, and the value of their degrees is honestly decreasing. So, what would I change about my college experience? I wouldn't change anything, because I got the presidential scholarship to a private school, and I've never in my life paid a single dime of tuition. It was all paid for. So I don't have any regrets. I got the shitty, useless degree basically for free. I just had to sacrifice 3.5 years of work. But I wouldn't really change that. I might not have been the social butterfly in college, but I've never really been that anyway. And a lot of the people I met, I wasn't particularly interested in spending time outside of the classroom with them. I was much better off just driving back home to hang out with my normal, real friends. I mean, I commuted to college anyway, so it was basically like I was just driving to work every day. I didn't really live there. So your experiences may vary out there. If you guys are planning on going to college, or maybe you're currently going, or I don't know who the fuck is listening to this. Would I recommend going? Well, if I did not get that presidential scholarship, I would not suggest going to college. From my point of view, I mean, you look at how competitive all of these big fields are. I heard that you always hear about how it's impossible to become a lawyer. Oh, it's so fucking hard. Oh, the bar exam. Oh, the bar exam. I had to rent out a hotel room and isolate myself from the world and study for the bar for a whole week all alone. Oh, it was so hard. These fucking pussies. Oh man, I gotta take a test. Oh. But it's so hard to become a lawyer. It's so expensive to become a lawyer. And now lawyers are saying there are not enough lawyer jobs. Could you fucking imagine? You lock yourself like a hermit in a hotel room to study for some stupid fucking bar exam. You spend $250,000 on your degree going to 8 years of fucking bullshit classes. And then you can't even get a job. Because it's oversaturated. Because these motherfuckers have spent 50 years telling everybody go to college and be a lawyer or a doctor if you want to be rich. And guess what? It worked too well. There are too many fucking lawyers out there. You're not going to find a job. That's what I've been hearing. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I just watch Better Call Saul. What do I know? But, you know, from what I've been reading and hearing, just some anecdotes, they're saying it's pretty hard to find a job even if you have the master's degree in a high-skill, high-paid job. So, I mean, is it even worth it? I don't know. In these days, nobody even fucking wants to work, evidently. Every job is saying that nobody wants to work, they can't hire anybody, all this bullshit. So it sounds like there's plenty of jobs out there. If you want to make money and work, you don't necessarily have to go into incredible debt to do it. Sounds like jobs are literally begging people to apply. So I don't know. Maybe hold off. If you're 17 or 18, maybe go to college when you're 20, 21, 22. Go into the job field, save up some money. See, maybe you'll find a job without a college degree that you like so much and pays well enough that college would literally be a waste of your time and money. There are many such cases. I am one of them. I've never used my degree, and I make enough money to afford a house, a car, and I just bought a new bed. I got 2 cats who shit and piss all over the house, and it's not an issue, you know? I mean, not everybody's gonna be me, making the measly few dollary dues online, but there are so many opportunities out there that don't require a college education, that is run by corrupt businessmen who see you as nothing more than a $250,000 loan that they can cash in on. So just be careful, folks. Be careful with your future and your plans and your money. I used to think college was worth it, but it just keeps getting worse. And I don't really see any way somebody could defend how shitty the whole system is. If you can defend it, please let me know in the comments. D'Amelio Marquis says go to college, so I guess he disagrees. Random Candor says deplatform Robel, she's the worst mod of all time. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. Cole Williams wants to know, if you were an inch deep in Rusty and Reactor was an inch deep in you, which way would you move to get out? No bullshit evasive answers? Well, joke's on you, motherfucker. I already said I fucked Reactor's bussy with my monkey cock, so I guess I don't even need Reactor to be involved. If he wants to like stand in the closet and looking out and jerk off to me and Rusty's lovemaking, that's fine. I don't know if my diseased, unbleached, AIDS-ridden monkey asshole needs Reactor's fat Asian cock inside of it, to be honest. I think me and Rusty could probably handle this ourselves, but I would definitely thrust more into Rusty than thrust back into Reactor. Fried Cheese wants to know, if I had sex with Oki's Weird Stories, would it be Kino? That's gonna have to be a question for the Kino Corner to answer, since that's his co-host. I can only answer sexual questions about my own podcast co-hosts, and Kino does a show with Oki, so you'll have to ask him. Robel wants to know, fuck, marry, kill Biggs, Kino, and Rusty. Well, you see, Biggs, he's living that trad life now, going to church. He's got the QT Pie GF. He's happy. He's working. He's got a job. Hopefully, my hope would be that they move in together so he doesn't have to live in his fucking basement anymore. So I do not want to take that away from him. I think to force him out of that trad life and to suck him back down into the depths of hell with the rest of us in the Measly Few gang, I don't think that would be fair. So I'm definitely not going to marry or kill Biggs. I want him to live his best life, so I will fuck him, because that's the only other option, just for his sake. I don't even know if my micro penis would manage to find his sexual hole, so it might not be that big of a deal. As far as, let's see, we gotta marry and kill Kino and Rusty. I would marry Rusty. Yeah, Rusty makes the big boy bucks. He's got his comic book money coming in. He's making that Spotify music money, so he'll take care of me. Kino, I don't know. It sounds like Kino is not very good with money. He wasted like $100,000 making a movie that nobody wants to watch. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to be government contracted with that man. So yeah, I'd have to kill Kino Corner, which he would probably enjoy. And if he spells corner with a K, it could be KKK, kill Kino Corner, hashtag KKK, hashtag kill Kino Corner. Stub wants to know, do you believe that 6 million epic gamers died in the Tomato Town massacre? Nah, I haven't heard about this. Was this on the news? Who's talking about this? It sounds horrible. Those poor gamers. What did they do to deserve it? I mean, they must have been doing something if they had to kill 6 million of them. You don't eradicate gamers for no reason, but I would like to hear the justification before I make a judgment call here. Yap wants to know, where are the women at? Definitely not in this fan base. You're looking in the wrong Discord server. Confish Bracken wants to know, top 5 Kino moments in One Piece. I guess I probably should mention One Piece. If you follow my One Piece review channel, and yes, I have one of those if you didn't know, it's Monkey D. Jones. I guess I'll also have a link in the description to that. But really, there's no use in subscribing, because evidently I never post on there. I was trying for a long time. Every single chapter that came out, to give it a little review, have some fun. And I have not done like the last 10 chapters. I'm super, super behind. Probably like 80 or 90 days since the last upload to that channel, which I want to fix. I do want to remedy that situation because I am still obsessed with One Piece as much as ever. I mean, every single day I watch some sort of One Piece content. The reason why I've been slacking in making the videos, I think, is because maybe I'm not super confident in my ability to talk about One Piece, mostly because I spend a lot of free time watching people who are very intelligent and very well versed in the series. People like Randy Troy or Uteron. Like, these guys, when they say something, it just sounds like they're right. And they remember little details from 400 chapters before, and their theories like are consistently coming true. Although Uteron's 1031 theory sure didn't work out. Spoiler alert for people who have not read the spoilers for the upcoming chapter. But that was a little disappointing that his big theory, it seems like it's not coming true for that chapter. But whatever. But I think, can I really compare? Like, what if I review these chapters and I talk about the show or the manga? Am I really contributing anything at all? Because everybody else who's doing the same thing is smarter than me. They make better points than me. They have better opinions than me. And I just feel like, I don't know. I feel inadequate. So maybe I need to approach it from a different angle, or maybe just nobody cares and I'm being a huge pussy. Being a huge pussy faggot about making One Piece videos. I guess I am. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess I should just do it and not care. Really, it's as much as it is fun for me, it's also, I assume, fun for some people in the audience to watch. I guess 1,000 people wouldn't be clicking on them if they didn't want to watch them, so I will definitely be updating my One Piece content soon. And as far as the top 5 Kino moments, off the top of my head, we're gonna do Luffy climbing Drum Mountain with Nami and Sanji, in tow. That's top tier Kino. The revelation about Mont Blanc, Noland, and the truth about his life and death was pure Kino. The entire Odin flashback, everything with him and Gold Roger and, the boiling pot of oil, fucking Kino, dude. Everything about the Odin flashback is, oh my god, it's top 5 One Piece Kinos for sure. For sure. Anybody who shit talks the Odin flashback is such a pre-time skip Gen 1er crybaby fanboy. They cannot appreciate true Kino. They're so biased against the new chapters just because they couldn't binge them as a teenager. Anyway, that's 3 moments. Oh god, 2 more moments. There's so many. I don't want to miss any obvious ones, but I also don't want to just say the same ones everybody else says. So I'll leave it at that for now. People on this channel probably don't want to hear about One Piece anyway too much. So I'll properly answer that question maybe in its own video when I start really diving into making One Piece content again. Top 5 Kino moments in Family Guy. Okay, so there's that one episode where Peter fights the chicken, and then there's another one where Peter fights the chicken. And then in the third one, they subvert your expectations. You think that Peter's going to fight the chicken, but then he does. I don't want to shit on Family Guy. I'm one of the very few Family Guy stans. You guys might be the measly few of Simian Jimmy viewers. Listening to this shitty podcast an hour into it. You guys truly are the measly few. But when it comes to Family Guy fandom, I am definitely the measly few. I still to this day, watch the new episodes of Family Guy, and they still get me laughing. I'm not going to say it's as good as it used to be. What show is, obviously, but for what it is now in its current state, it is still plenty entertaining for a mongoloid like me. Somebody with just the most immature, low brain, low class sense of humor. Family Guy is truly Kino, and you can tell that the writers have gone so meta that they just truly don't care, and the show is better for it. So, Family Guy, pretty good. Go check it out. I posted a Family Guy clip on my Twitter the other day. They did the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to be continued meme at the end of the most recent episode, and it might be cringe, but it's unironically based as well. You can be based and cringe at the same time, because you know what, motherfuckers? If I was in the writing room of Family Guy, I would 100% be pushing to end the episode with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to be continued. Why wouldn't you? You think that's gonna happen on The Simpsons? You think that's gonna happen on Fox News? There's no situation where that meme is ever on mainstream television, on cable. That would never happen. What fucking writer is going to put that kind of joke on this syndicated television program? But they did it. They didn't do it correctly. You're not supposed to freeze frame while somebody is blown into pieces. Stewie pulls out an RPG and blows Brian up, and then it says to be continued. It's supposed to freeze before the impact of the violence, I do believe. So they did fuck up the joke, but the fact that they even attempted, I had to give them props and post it on my Twitter. And I don't know if people were liking it because it was good or bad or somewhere in between, but sometimes, and maybe this is just coming with age, maybe now that I'm 26, you know, I'm an old man, my hair's all gray, my beard is down to my knees now. Maybe my sensibilities have changed a bit in terms of throwing memes into pop culture in places that they don't belong. But something about that level of cringe, and I don't know, just something about it makes me want to watch it. That might just be me. And maybe I've just gone senile. I've been sitting here talking to myself for over an hour. I might have lost every facet of my intelligence, and maybe I'm the only person on earth who can be entertained by Family Guy. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Juju, which pet is your favorite and why is it Blaze? Well, Isabel was my favorite until yesterday. And that is true, she really was. Now I don't know. Now they're tied up. Because Blaze, he scratches up my walls. Like the paint underneath one of my windows is just all scratched as shit because he jumps up into the window and his back feet scratch the wall as he jumps. And it's like, well, what, I'm going to paint over it and then he's going to keep doing it? It's not like he's scratching it on purpose. He's just jumping up to the windowsill, you know? I don't want to take sunlight away from him, but it is annoying when your cats just destroy everything. He has plenty of scratching posts. He's not doing it on purpose, but I just don't know how to prevent that. But I would much rather have a scratched up wall than my brand new mattress covered in cat piss. So, yeah, I guess Blaze wins. You know what? Fuck you, Isabel. 10 house points from Gryffindor. No more. Goodbye. Slytherin Blaze wins again. Who is the king of all critics, says Lemon Sake. Well, there used to be one, but I think he was dethroned. So I don't know. I guess there's a new opening. Kino Corner considers himself the king of Kino, and he is a bit of a critic himself, so maybe Kino Corner can be the new king critic. Yeah, let's, you know what? Let's all start calling Kino Corner King Critic and just leave it at that. It's the same letters, KC, Kino Corner, King Critic, same personality, same sexuality, I have to assume. I mean, I know they're both straight white men who would enjoy the company of a lovely young woman. So why not? Let's all agree to call him King Critic from now on and not elaborate any further for anybody. Nobody needs to even understand what any of this means. Another question. Toot wants to know, is Jumpkey just gone forever now? Yeah, Jumpkey's been gone for a long time. You can't have a plastic blow-up doll in the same house as two cats. So, Jumpkey was killed. Nani says, when are things going back to normal? If that's in reference to, like, the whole pandemic shit, it really, I think your mileage may vary depending on where you live. As far as I'm concerned, things have been pretty normal in general, other than, like, if you go to a fucking restaurant, you're gonna get pretty piss-poor service. I think the other day I had like an order that took over an hour from a fucking fast food place just because they're understaffed. So, in terms of normality, I don't know when the fuck that shit's gonna get fixed. But otherwise, things seem kind of normal now, right? Again, that might just be in central Iowa. I don't know how you guys are doing on the coastal elite cities. Those fuckers are basically living in like a communist regime. If you cannot be a firefighter unless you wear a COVID mask. Okay, I guess we're closing down the fire department. You have to get this injection if you want to save people's lives from a fire. Okay. I guess we can't have firemen spreading COVID while extinguishing a fire. I don't really know how many people they're interacting with, but okay. Close down the fire department. Makes sense to me. I guess, the dangers of a fire are far less than the dangers of spreading COVID. I don't know. I'd rather have COVID than have my house on fire. Just fucking saying. Just fucking saying. Anyway. Busy Corgi says, will there be a Mumkey fan meetup? There've been a bunch in the past, but they were ultimately pretty cringe and boring. Just a bunch of like teenagers and early 20s young men of various degrees of physical attractiveness, ranging from your 2 out of 10s all the way up to your 4.5 out of 10s. Just a big group of those Sigma males parading around a public space. It's not as much fun as you might imagine. TBH fam-a-lam. But I guess in the future there could be some. I'm not planning anytime soon. And if I did do it, it would probably be like, hey, I'm going to be at Six Flags, Illinois on this day. So if you happen to be there, maybe you'll see me. Like that's my level of commitment to doing a fan meetup right now. Speaking of which, I would actually really enjoy going to Six Flags sometime soon. I guess it is November, so maybe by soon, maybe I mean this June. So yeah, maybe this June we can go to Six Flags. But anyway, this episode is way over time. I only want to make these about an hour, so I will get to the rest of these questions next time. Aggie will be on next time as a guest for some segments. And anything I talked about in this episode, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know. And if you would like to support the show and ask me a question, patreon.com/mumkey. You can do it all there. One-time payment gets you in the server. You could ask a question once every 6 hours. So, yeah, we can really fill up this show with your stupid, unfunny bullshit. And again, Biggs' family is in medical debt from his mom. We need to hit that $3,000 goal on GoFundMe. So if you only have $5 and you're thinking, do I want to help Biggs or do I want to go into the Patreon Discord server of Simian Jimmy? I know that might weigh on your mind quite a bit. And the God's honest truth is you should probably just split it down the middle, $2.50 each. Anyway, that's it for the flagship the first and hopefully not last episode of the Simian Jimmy Treehouse Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week. I'm going to try to post these every Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so this will be up on Wednesday morning or afternoon. Who fucking knows? I guess you guys do. I don't. I got to edit this shit still. But I'm going to try to have this show up on Tuesdays, going to try to do Depression Chamber on Sundays, and who knows what we'll do on the other days. Plus, I desperately need to really get to working on some main channel content, because my good friends at Surfshark I don't remember if it was Surfshark or one of the other ones, one of those VPNs that gives you money. See, that's pretty bad if I can't even remember which company of all these very similar companies I'm supposed to be shilling. But one of them wants to give me hundreds of dollars, so I need to make a new video. I should probably work on that. See you next time, folks. Da-da-da-da. No, I'm changing the theme song. Here's a different song.